Network basketball presented by Food Lion. A sunny but windy Sunday here in Tallahassee, and it's the final home game of the season for the Noles. It's senior day as they honor their four seniors today with the Stanford Cardinal in Tallahassee for the first time ever to take on Florida State. Happy you spent part of your Sunday with us, along with forward Noles guard Angel Gray. I'm Mark Neely. Angel, 7 days from now, 1 week, the end of the ACC regular season.
Well, don't be sad too long, because then March Madness is on the way, which is going to cause a lot of anxiety, of course. But coming into this game, there's a lot on the line for both teams. If you're looking at the NCAA tournament, Stanford is considered by Charlie Creme the next four out for the ACC tournament. Florida State is trying to put themselves in a position for seeding, going in that they can make some noise. A lot is expected from both teams here today.
Yeah, for Stanford, Laura Shumfai, their freshman, she just continues to get better and better here late in the year.
In the absence of Nunu again.
And it's the final home game of the season for the Noles. It's senior day as they honor their four seniors today with the Stanford Cardinal in Tallahassee for the first time ever to take on Florida State. Happy you spent part of your Sunday with us, along with forward Noles guard Angel Gray. I'm Mark Neely. Angel, 7 days from now, 1 week, the end of the ACC regular season.
Well, don't be sad too long, because then March Madness is on the way, which is going to cause a lot of anxiety, of course. But coming into this game, there's a lot on the line for both teams. If you're looking at the NCAA tournament, Stanford is considered by Charlie Creme the next four out for the ACC tournament. Florida State is trying to put themselves in a position for seeding, going in that they can make some noise. A lot is expected from both teams here today.
Yeah, for Stanford, Laura Shumfai, their freshman, she just continues to get better and better here late in the year.
In the absence of Nunu Aguera, the 5 games she missed, that is where she was able to shine the best. 3 games in double figures, 2 of them were double-doubles. Her versatility is outstanding. I love her ability to play both sides of the ball. You can see her running in the passing lanes, becoming the facilitator, a dime pass for the layup. What I love most about Laura, as a freshman, she plays like a seasoned vet. Over the last 5 games, she has soared, and Kate Pay said, we need to play the Cardinal way. Laura's at the head of it.
And for Florida State, one of their seniors being honored today, Jasmine Shavers.
Jasmine Shavers, the transfer from Texas Tech, finding a new home in a major way and lighting it up from outside. Florida State is number 2 in threes made in ACC play. She's a big part of it. When you look at her shot chart, it's spraying all around the perimeter. I don't know how she gets as open as she does. That is going to be an assignment for Stanford to find her early in the game, because she is one of the most prolific scorers, 2nd overall behind Soleil Williams.
All right, ready to go here in Tallahassee on this Sunday. Karen Priato, our lead official, into the center circle. You see Stanford wearing the black, Florida State in the white, and it's the Seminoles that have the game's first possession. Florida State coming off a loss to Cal. Shavers puts up the first shot that's short. These are Stanford starting 5. It's a Stanford squad, as you just mentioned. They've lost 8 of their last 9 games, but are still on the bubble for Charlie Creme.
It's a very important conversation that we were having with Kate Pay, especially after a game, and that's a good sign for them, knocking down their first bucket. Coming off of a game against Miami where they did not shoot very well from the floor, 31% overall in that ball game.
Florida State was very competitive until late in their game against Cal. Lost that game on Thursday with the left hand, a miss there by Tatum Green.
The biggest thing for Florida State is just knowing that they have the output, they have the talent on this roster. It's how they finish the games is the biggest concern for Brooke Wyckoff, and so that is a challenge for them here today.
Trying to feed Shumfai, but it bounces out of bounds at a turnover. You notice that Shea Ijiwoye is in the starting lineup for Stanford. So Chloe Clardy will come off the bench today for the Cardinal.
Chloe Clardy had a lot of games last season where she was in the starting rotation. Great look for Amaya Bonner, who that is actually more of what we need to see from her in the offensive side, attacking 2 feet in the paint. But going back to Chloe Clardy, who's coming off of the bench, that is an area where she has excelled from earlier in the season. But for Stanford, a team that has been riddled with injury throughout this season, 7 players remaining at times in the rotation, she's still playing with a few things late in the season. just feel like a little too deep when you're, as a freshman, trying to get into the paint, over penetrating, but was able to draw the foul there.
Haley Swain, another one of the freshmen for the Cardinal. This is Courtney Ogden, who had the game's first bucket for Stanford, down to 3 on the shot clock. Kick to the corner and unable to handle it. The shot clock was winding down regardless for Stanford there.
And immediately I'll look at Brooke Wyckoff and how she is telling her team, like, that is where I want to continue to build on. In our conversation with her at shoot-around, she said if there is an area where she feels like they can improve on, especially to build the momentum going into the ACC tournament, it's the defensive side.
Soleil Williams, big rainbow off the front rim. And a rebound for Nunu Aguirre. Swain runs it ahead, fires down low. There's Shumfai all by herself to lay it in.
What a beautiful execution for Haley Swain, who has really come alive as well. We could have played or showed at least 3 different players in the open for Stanford, especially as freshmen who have stood out in the last 5.
Shavers on senior day. Splash, nothing but net.
She's already knocked down 53s coming into this game. You'd think she'd be a priority outside.
Quick response there by Stanford. Shumfai getting busy early here for the Cardinal.
I'm pretty sure we showed her in the open knocking one down from that exact spot on the floor. She doesn't need much time. It's always off of a dribble dish, like just penetrating and kicking out to her. And so you have to make sure that you're close enough for the closeout.
Lubeck's in the game. Allie maintains the dribble, goes to the left hand, going after her own miss, but it's tipped to Ogden. Aguirre's going to run it ahead for the Cardinal, right down the middle of the floor. Swain back to Aguirre, looking for Ogden instead. Swain, screen set. Swain uses it, puts it off the glass. There's Nunu for the putback and one. Well executed, kind of a 2-man game there, getting it to the rim. Brooke Wyckoff, the Seminole great. Now in season, her 4th consecutive year, 5th overall as the head coach after taking over for Legends Sue Simran.
And one of the jerseys hanging in the rafters for this program as well, played on the professional level, coming back to coach at her alma mater. How about Florida State hiring both on the men's side, Luke Laux, who played here as well.
Staying in the family, so to speak.
Yeah, I love seeing those stories, just how they can give back to a program that has given so much to them in their careers.
Quick run here by Stanford's giving them a 4-point lead. Soleil probing. Shumfai able to keep her out of the lane. And then a little bit of a reach there by Swain. Almost got a tie-up, but then baseline official Bruce Barris calls a foul. Tatum Green lost the handle, able to get it back. Shavers, Kubek setting the screen at the right elbow, doesn't use it, it's in a double team. 3 to shoot. Bonner's going to have to be the one to put it up, it looks like. She does, and puts it in the bucket.
Wow, making something out of nothing. A lot of over dribbling, but somehow, some way, Bonner able to find the right angle off the glass on the left side.
Ogden, catch and shoot 3. She's got one. Courtney Ogden knocking it down. 27th, made 3 of the season. Kubek kick, corner 3, Green in and out. Loose ball. Ujiwoye, bounce pass, Clardy, and in transition, Stanford scoring.
You want to see more of that from Shea Ujiwoye, who has been phenomenal coming back for Stanford as a point guard this season, especially in the absence of Lapola.
Florida State now 3-9 from the field to start the game. Another 3. timeout, Florida State. Stanford has gone on a big run here. 13-2 run to be precise, and have an early 10-point lead.
Courtney Ogden, the Atlanta native, knocking it down from outside. She's already got 2 of them. Watch out. As far as the longest tenure for them, also known as the GM of the team as well, just trying to find ways to put things together for this group. It was great to see them honored, but also there has to be a pride on the floor with how do we want to end our career on this floor.
Out of the Florida State timeout. And an 8-0 run here. A 13-2 run for Stanford. Offensive rebound. Treadwell's in the game. Gets her own miss, and then it gets stripped by Ijiwoye, but right there is Kubek. Out for a 3 from Bonner, and it falls. A little senior day luck right there.
You'll take anything you can get. Coming out with a sense of urgency. I like the paint touch as well for the Noles.
Stanford 7 of 8 from the field to begin the game. They've hit both of their threes to start the game. And when we chatted with Coach Pay just a short time ago, she mentioned at Miami the other night, they were forcing up too many early threes. They've hit their first 2 today.
Finishing that game 3 for 21 is an absolute assessment of how they did not want to come into this ball game. You mentioned they've already knocked down their 2, and that one going to Nunu on the block. The balance for Stanford to start this game is elite.
8 of 9 from the field, and an offensive foul called before the Bonner shot. Here is Coach Kate Pace, season 2 since replacing Tara Vanderveer.
The legend. Tara Vanderveer and Kate Pate understanding, as we just mentioned, with Brooke Wyckoff on the other side, returning to her alma mater, the importance of the culture built and the standard that has to be established, but also knowing what it takes to win. She has done so as a coach. She has done so as a player, and I do believe she won a couple with our very own colleague, Angela Taylor.
Yeah, some similarities between these 2 coaches, as you mentioned, both playing for their alma maters, both replacing coaches they played for.
Yeah, absolutely.
Foul is on the floor. I think they're going to get that on Shum Fai. Good aggressive play there by Avery Treadwell, who's coming in the game off the bench. Good look at the 2 ladies.
I think it's just so cool to, again, to give back, but also understand the standard in which you put that uniform on and holding them accountable for more so not just the name on your back, but the name across the chest. And I think they've done a great job of doing that so far.
Bounce pass. Nunu banks it in. Shea Ijiwoye with a terrific pocket pass there, and Stanford's offense clicking on all cylinders to start this Sunday.
In the game, the 5 games that Nunu missed, it was like having your X factor off the floor. The bounce, the energy, just an elite scorer, defender. So to see her now surging is pretty impressive.
Wow, great defense. Courtney Ogden, quick hands.
Nunu here just streaking down the floor. There is not a time where she is not moving. It reminds me a lot of the Agumake sisters, Chene and Nneka, who are also Cardinal greats. That must too also be a standard. If you were a big, you run rim to rim.
You mentioned the 5 games that Nunu missed between January 29th, February 12th. Soleil 3 off the right side. Nunu has another rebound. Certainly missed her during those 5-game stretch. And of course, Talana Lopolo has been out quite a while as well. 3 left side, that time too long for Clardy. And multiple chances for the Cardinal. They have a rare empty possession. Bowles fighting off the contact. It's out of bounds to Stanford.
Florida State is known for their pace in which they play, but I would like to see in that series for them understanding that they are now approaching a 2.5-minute drought. They are now 1 for their last 10. How can we get an easier look without forcing at the rim?
I seemed a little impatient on that last possession.
Bit of a defensive change for Florida State, switching it up to the zone.
Number 22, Mary Ashley Stevenson is checked in. The ball finds her. She takes it out. Back in the hands of Shea Ijiwoye.
And then again, for Florida State, you have everyone packed in. To get an offensive rebound, if you're Stanford, that means you're outworking them. A sense of urgency has to be had for the rebound.
If you're FSU, you'll take that three-point shot from Ijiwoye, who's not been a great or shot a whole lot of threes this year.
I mean, Stanford overall is shooting about 29% from the three in general, but too much contact at the top. We'll have a whistle blown at any time.
Rolls to take it out along the baseline is Emma Risch in the game. In for Panya Davis, who's also coming off the bench. Panya looking for some space and finds it. A little bit of the height advantage over Nunu there.
Looking at Panya Davis, her frame in her first year here, I know that the expectation is how she can be bigger in her presence, her physicality for Florida State. I think her ceiling is so high.
Stevenson had it for a moment on the offside, but lost it out of bounds after she took some contact.
One of the things I asked Coach Wyckoff about was the physicality of Panya Davis, what she needed a little bit more of. And she said those type of plays are what they need. Knowing she can go inside. Yes, she can stretch the floor. I've even seen her bring the ball up the floor for the Noles as well. Very versatile, but how she thrives has to be getting paint touches just like that.
And she took a push in the back from Mary Ashley Stevenson, who gets the foul. So we'll see if Panya Davis can continue to replicate that during the game. That would bring a big smile to Brooke Wyckoff's face. He gets set up here for the baseline inbounds again, and it comes into Panya, but then away from the ball. Stevenson just got another foul as Bonner crashed into her away from the ball.
Yeah, solid screen by Sydney Bowles, freeing up Panya Davis, who could have easily had a look at the rim. Underneath, you can see her Stevenson trying to fight over the screen and just displaces her, comes through her body. And just like that, Florida State is in the bonus.
Wow. Kind of snuck up on us all of a sudden. Got her at the line. Well, our women's basketball doubleheader Thursday night here on ACC Network features number 8 Louisville at Georgia Tech, followed by this Florida State team at number 9 Duke. Blue Devils looking to remain unbeaten in ACC play. Coverage starts at 6 Eastern right here on ACC Network.
I think I saw a graphic that Duke has not lost in 78 days.
It's been a while, and everybody was kind of shaken up with that non-conference. Of course, it was a brutal schedule. Early Amborn, a freshman, number 11, is in the game. She has the dribble for Stanford. Inside the last minute, and the C's part for Nunu. Aguera lays it in. She's had a nice first quarter. A 5-second difference here, by the way, shot clock, game clock.
Yeah, Mark, I just think she's pro-ready. Her work ethic. Her athleticism, the way she cuffed the ball getting to the rim.
She just looks the part. Williams, that's punched into the backcourt. She can go back to get it. But now the shot clock is at 5. Risch can shoot the 3. And off the mark. Eschmeyer's in the game. They still have time. Nunu's going to get to the front court. She's going to get a shot off. The lefty fires, almost banked it in. Indicative of the first quarter for Stanford. Started out red hot, cooled off a bit at the end, but they have a 9-point lead at the end of one quarter from Tallahassee. Well, already some big news in the conference. You'll notice Louisville now with 2 losses. They lose 74-72 to UVA. Huge win for the Hoos.
We talked about there being things on the line for Stanford for the NCAA tournament. How about Virginia for Charlie Kroon, who said they were the last 4 in? What a huge win for them to be able to pad their resume a bit. Louisville now just dropping their 2nd game on the season, obviously to Duke as well, and Duke up big over Clemson. But another game that I have my eye on right now is Georgia Tech at Virginia Tech. Georgia Tech has had spurts this season, as we've seen, that they've been very good and had some dips along the way. Virginia Tech, another team trying to fight their way into the tournament.
Start the second quarter in Tallahassee. Down low, the ball bounces off Shumfai's foot. She's fighting forward. It's picked up by Green. Here comes FSU. Sydney Bowles weaving through traffic, fires it up, draws the contact, and will shoot a pair.
You can tell the mentality for Florida State, especially after the first time out for Brooke Wyckoff, what they needed to do, and it's being more aggressive with getting 2 feet in the paint. Sydney Bowles, who was coming off of a game where she knocked down 4 triples, her eyes have been on the paint in the rim to start this game.
You know, as Bowles takes his first free throw, fact check me here, I'm thinking now, so if Duke holds on to beat Clemson, they're going to clinch the 1 seed.
Yes, they've already got the double bye, and that's what everyone is fighting for in ACC standings.
They would clinch the regular season.
You always want to make sure you have the 2 days off for the double bye.
So a lot to watch on this next to last Sunday of the regular season in ACC Women's Hoops.
Just a week left, and then the madness begins. I feel like it's already here. It's like a little pre-meal, pre-game
a little
appetizer.
Ramping up the madness. Travel. A little confusion trying to get it to Ogden. Here's all the info you need to know about the ACC tournament coming up in Duluth, Georgia. Top 4 teams, double bye, 5 through 9 single. You want to be in the top 15, and really coming in today, both these teams not exactly comfortable about making the tournament.
No, your work is still needing to be done. Great take by Soleil Williams. Stanford coming in at 13. Florida State at 14. Wake Forest in that final spot for the ACC tournament at 15. They get a win over Boston College, and Florida State will see Wake Forest to close out their regular season.
Well, an 11-point lead had been whittled down to 5, and kind of when you got the feel that Stanford needed a bucket, they go to Nunu, and they get this exactly that.
When in doubt, give it to number 3. There are moments in a game where you can feel there's a dip. They can feel that there hasn't been a flow or fluidity of what you need to do on the offensive end until you get the ball to people that make special plays, and Nunu is one of them.
Lefty fires up the free throw and finishes off that 3-point play, and just like that, the lead's back up to 8. Williams, Davis facing up on Stevenson. Turns, shoots, about a 15-footer was short. Stevenson was able to push Davis out just enough. Now those two are all matched up. Again, that has the officials' attention, and I'm going to call her on a foul here. Ponya's going to come out.
Sadly, that's just the first on Tanya Davis, and quickly Ali Kubek checks in. That is going to give a different type of look for Nunu as well, but also changes some things up. You may see a little bit more zone by Florida State.
Into the corner, Ogden, met there by Kubek. Step back, long 2 goes in for Courtney Ogden, who's off to a really nice shooting start.
Courtney Ogden finished the game against Miami with 9 points. She's already in double figures here today.
She's hit 4 of her 5 field goal attempts and knocked down both of her 3-point attempts. Oh, that couldn't finish it though, but it was a pretty pass from Risch to get it to the rim. Ogden stops again.
You can't ask for a better look for Florida State. I mean, you could do the back door, just the wrong angle trying to kiss it off the glass.
Risch defending Guerra there, 10 to shoot. Stevenson, dangerous pass, and Kubek able to swat it away, so it'll be 5 left on the shot clock. Stanford will take it out in the baseline. Looks like Ogden's going to trigger it. I love baseline inbound baseline. You can do so much with this.
Well, I love that in shoot-around we found out that it's called special teams.
Yes, and they got a quick shot around it out for Guerra, but an offensive rebound. Actually, 10-point lead with about 3 minutes gone here in this second quarter. Risch again on a Guerra. Nunu, 17-footer. Off the heel, batted around by Green. It's going to go to the sideline. Bonner collects, but a dangerous pass There's one to get it to Kubek, but standing in the way was Shea Ijiwoye. And we get a stoppage. Still trying to figure out why we had a stoppage, but it is going to allow a substitution to come in as Rish gives way. Was she was out?
In a way, for Brooke Wyckoff, you're relieved because that could have led to another look quickly without your defense being set up.
Would not have been a good live ball turnover. Gary gave it a look. It's at 5. Shot clock winding down. Ogden gonna have to do something with it. Fires. Didn't draw iron. Soleil on the run. Shavers from the corner 3. Long. Kubek knocked to the deck by Stevenson. They play on. Stevenson's playing with a couple of fouls here, and she's still aggressive defensively.
That is her MO. I mean, she is very physical, plays very hard, and sometimes she just gets the better of the player if you're not ready. You get big.
Ten-point lead. Stanford's largest has been 11. Bonner. Soleil, Ijiwoye. Knocked away there by him. Swain, Haley Swain.
So right now, there's single coverage on Soleil Williams, Florida State's leading scorer. She is sitting at 2 points. She is one of the players that can create, but also create for herself. I am needing to see her be a little bit more assertive with finding her own buckets that will then free up everyone else.
Treadwell from the left elbow. Left that short. So Mary Ashley Stevenson may already kind of be in their head a little bit defensively with her physicality. Ogden, long 2, got it. This is their largest lead of the game of a dozen.
It looks like warm-ups for her. I mean, from the top of the key, mid-range, baseline. Ogden is just spraying around the floor, being active and being efficient.
Well, Stanford has 30 points. Aguirre has a dozen, and Ogden has a dozen. That's 24 to 30 right there. Loose ball, and Stevenson gets to it, and then she gets stripped by Kubek, and Allie can't finish it. I'll tell you what, those two low post players got a little bit of a battle going on here to start this game. But FSU couldn't produce the points. The lead is a dozen for Stanford, 4:39 left in the half.
Well, Stanford right now is on a 7-0 run in big part because of Courtney Ogden playing like a superhero. She's spraying it from everywhere. Bam, left side. One dribble, right side, pull up, splash. And she can even take it to the top of the key. Cha-ching. She has done everything so well to start this game in rhythm. Everything looks fluid. And I'd be all smiles, too, if I was Kate Pay, knowing that Courtney Ogden is coming in and leading the way for the Cardinal.
Yeah, the two of them leading the way with a dozen apiece. You know, their lead of 11 had been cut to 5, and since FSU got within 5, they've gone over 4 minutes without scoring, and the lead's ballooned up to 12. Quickly off the inbound, Shavers got a good look. Now she has a 3 that's on the way. So 2 chances there for FSU out of the timeout.
I am first looking at the amount of layups that Florida State is missing. Yeah, that is a little bit too much torque going into Ali Kubek.
Kubek taking a hard fall. Nunu gets the offensive foul there. Treadwell. Kubek spinning on Nunu. Just kind of fired it up as she was falling to the deck. Guerra's going to take it up the floor.
Yeah, it looked like Allie was searching for the contact there. Had she gone through solid play, I think she would have got the layup. But on the other side, quickly, Stanford getting a bucket of their own.
4 points for Chloe Clardy coming off the bench today now. And there's the pocket pick, Ijuoye, going the other way for the easy layup.
Ijuoye is one of those players that you just smile every time she's on the floor. The energy that she brings, she's so assertive with doing just that. On the defensive end, she brings an energy that is infectious.
11-0 run for Stanford. Today, the first start of the season for Ijuoye. She made 17, though, last year in her true freshman year. Played in 30 games. Shavers. FSU badly needed a basket to end that scoring drought, which was... Yeah, it's been going on a while, about 6 minutes, 5-6 minutes. Ogden with a dozen. Can she add to that? Yes.
Why ask silly questions, Mark? When Ogden has been on a heater all day, what was for pregame meal? How did we get a part of it?
Rather lather, rinse, repeat for the next game. That's helping her tonight or this afternoon. Leading the way with 15 points, and that's brought out again by Ijuoye.
Yeah, 3 bodies brought to the paint in order to see if they could stop Avery Treadwell, and did.
A little bit of a heat check there for Ogden. A little quick shot. The lead is at 17. Got freshman Mari Girton in the game, number 1 for FSU. Looking down low for Bonner, and that's stolen away. Sloppily, Stanford turns it back over. Ijuoye on Shavers. Jasmine trying to find any kind of room but can't.
Look how Ijuoye just makes you think about where she is on the floor. The crossovers look a little bit different when she's in front of you.
Mari Girton just a little off the mark with her 3-point attempt. As we're inside the last 2 minutes here of this first half. Ogden's been deadly in this half to Aguera. That combination is wearing out Florida State here in the first half.
Just ambidextrous. Like, shoot with the left or outside. Also finish at the rim. Nunu continues to impress.
3. Won't go for Kubek. Second opportunity, Treadwell. Avery Treadwell picking up her first bucket. Inside the final minute. Contact underneath. See if we get that on Kubek. Stevenson going to the line here.
Standing at 6'2" for Mary Ashley Stevenson, you almost get caught in the forward. Are you physical enough to be a forward? And on the block, she's taking the ball out, facing up, putting it off the deck. She's doing everything so well. And we would be remiss to not say happy birthday. Turns 21 today.
Yes, happy birthday.
You remember those days?
Vaguely. Tuesday night brings another men's hoops doubleheader. NC State at number 14, UVA. And then Sunshine State Showdown. Miami and Florida State. Coverage starts at 7 Eastern. Here on ACC Network.
Rivalry. Miami at Florida State. I credit Virginia for
big win for them today.
Around too.
Knocking off Louisville. There's Panya Davis down low. And now Stanford can hold it basically for the final shot here. Stanford started this game hot and opened up a big lead here. It gets stripped. Shavers. And with 3 seconds left, they're going to say it stays with Florida State. Down to 2, down to 1, and with half a second left, it goes out of bounds to Stanford.
I don't understand that, Mark. To be honest, with 3 seconds on the clock, you start to think, who's going to be the communicator to see if we can get a solid shot up to go into the half? Just a missed opportunity for Florida State, but Stanford has to be pleased with how they were able to execute on the floor, shooting 58% in the first half.
And the 19-point lead, largest of the half for Stanford, 41-22 over FSU. Halftime in Tallahassee. Let's go to the studio with Jason Spells and Kai Crutchfield. Welcome back to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Food Lion. We get ready to start the second half from here at the Florida capital city of Tallahassee, in a big first half for Stanford. They lead at 41-22, along with Angel Gray. I'm Mark Neely. Tell you what, that got out of hand in a hurry because Stanford had a couple of runs here and they didn't really look back
at all. Shooting over 50% from the floor in the first half. 2 players already in double figures. They've been shooting lights out, and it really starts with Ogden and Aguirre. They've been absolutely phenomenal, starting with Courtney Ogden, who is coming into this ball game shooting 51% from the field. They're 2 of the players that are also in double figures or average double figures on the season. But what I've loved most about seeing how they just work off of one another. Look at the dribble drive. If someone's going to guard you at the top of the key and double in, then that 2-man game at the top of the key for the dive for Nunu Aguirre has been very effective for Stanford. I don't think you can ask for more as far as the efficiency from these 2 going into the second half, but knowing Kate Pay, she's like, I wanted to also carry over and then build on it.
Well, let's see how Florida State responds here. This is senior day, their final home game of the season. And a big deficit at 19 to start the half. Green short with a 3. One and done on their first possession. Rebound for Aguirre, her 8th, but she's 2 more away from a double-double. She's had 5 double-doubles this year. There's a drive and a foul as Swain going to the bucket.
Who had 0 points in the first half. So you start to think you have the lead. They've been shooting very well from the floor. Everything has been fluid. And then Haley Swain steps on the scene. One of the freshmen that has come in again, learning what her role needed to be for the team, can score, defends very well. One of the primary ball handlers for this team. I would expect to see her getting going in the second half.
Yeah, she's coming off a team-high 16 points Thursday night at Miami, with 7 rebounds in her 38 minutes. Splits the pair there, and the lead is 20. Potter. Ball never left her hands, and another one and done. Swain just kind of floated it to Aguirre. She spins. It's her own miss. Back out. Shumfai 3. Good.
Yep. Can extend the floor. That was something Brooke Wyckoff was concerned about, was who do you put on the length of Laura Shumfai? We talked about in the open her last 5 games, her standing out and just not hesitating from the floor.
Davis, well defended by Aguirre, nowhere to go. Soleil Williams, just when she thought she was past Ijiwoye and going to easily lay it in, Shea knocks it away.
Coming in as the ACC preseason all-freshman team, also has secured a couple of Freshman of the Week honors as well because of her versatility, because of how well she has been playing on the season. It's been so much fun to watch her evolve this year.
It's a good play by Ogden defensively. Shumfai now.
Florida State 1.8. They have to figure it out quick.
Quick shot did hit the rim. Green collision, unintentional for Shavers, but enough to displace Duoye and pick up a foul. Just pinballing around the ball. But twice on that possession for Coach Wyckoff's team, chances to get the ball to the rim. And Stanford's defense prevented them from doing so. When we talked with Coach Pay before the game, she said, hey, you know, for us, when we were really playing well, it started with our defense. And I think they're back to that so far today.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the big picture and what do you want to see to close and the momentum and ACC standings. Charlie Cream says you're the next 4 out. She said that's all good and dandy. That's not our focus. Our focus is getting back to what we know we can do and what we haven't seen in the last 6 to 7 games. And you asked her, what are some things that you did like? And the defense was the very first thing that she mentioned.
Well, they've lost 8 of their last 9 games from January 18th to Thursday night. Davis had a hand on it, and there's a foul whistled on the play. LSU looking for their first bucket of the half here, a couple minutes in. Swain checks out. Tatum Green got a great look and kisses that in.
Tatum Green had a stretch where she was one of those players that you had to put high on the priority list for Florida State and how aggressive she was on the offensive end. I'd like to see her with more looks and attention to the rim.
Yeah, she had a huge game against Miami here, career high 22 earlier in the month, February 8th. 9 of 12 from the field in that game.
Yeah, Chloe Clardy almost read that, trying to see if she can get one out in the open floor. Great job by Soleil Williams to keep the rock in her hands.
Williams looking for her second bucket of the game. Just kept fighting and wasn't enough contact to get herself to the line.
It has not been her day to start. 1 for 6 from the field, a 3-point specialist from outside, just behind Jasmine Shavers for made threes, and she's 0 for 2. So if she's going to try and rev up her feel and flow on the offensive side, getting to the left side of the floor is her specialty. And one area that Florida State has excelled in today is from the free throw line, where they're 100%. Elsewhere from the field, shooting 20% and 14 from 3.
A perfect 6 of 6 from the line. It's gotten them on the board here in the second half. Davis able to reach by Samfai, create a steal. See if Williams builds off the free throws. Kick. Green thought about that 3, trying to run by Samfai. Help defense there by Clardy. And it's going to be Chloe's foul. It's going to put Green at the line. Samfai exits, so does Duoye. The ACC Women's Basketball Tournament. Beginning on Wednesday, March 4th. First and second rounds here on ACC Network. First round coverage begins at 11 a.m. Eastern with the Nothing But Net crew. They'll provide pre and post game all tournament long. From Duluth, Georgia.
I'm a Georgia native, and so about a 25-minute drive from the busiest airport in the world. Should be a lot of fun. Sports is a high priority in the metro Atlanta area.
Panya able to rebound. Here's Soleil, found the open lane that time, beat everybody down the floor. And lays it in. An 8-0 run here for Florida State, so they've trimmed it down to 15.
Attacking the lanes that they need to attack. Getting the ball out and pushing when they need to push. That is the offense that Brooke Wyckoff has pleaded her team to execute. Soleil Williams with the left, with the touch, with the finish, causes a timeout. Florida State needs more.
Lost today to UVA for them. Duke at 3. UNC's been kind of slowly creeping up there. To a 5 now.
What a performance, too, for North Carolina on the road after bouncing back against Duke in that rivalry game that they had, and another one on the way to close out the season. But North Carolina, Courtney Banghart, loving what they're getting from their team, especially defensively, the best defensive team in the ACC.
You and I had their game after the Duke game, and yes, they did shoot free throws on Thursday night, unlike the game against Duke.
Yeah. You don't want to be a part of that type of history when you don't see that number go up. So a big improvement for them. But on the flip side, too, loving to see what Coach Duffy has been able to do for Virginia Tech, a 20-plus win season in her second year with Virginia Tech. And a year ago, they were hunting a spot in the NCAA tournament and putting themselves in good position here this year.
Mary Ashley Stevenson offensive board on this, her 21st birthday, keeps this possession alive for the Cardinal. Now she feeds Nunu. It's somewhat doubled and is a little long with a shot. Run out, Jasmine Shavers, no help behind her, but she wants to take the shot. And a rebound for the freshman, Carly Amborn. Garrett faces up to Ogden. They have been the duo, the scoring primary duo, and they continue that trend with this possession and bump it back to 17. Quickly down low, Davis, and that time Soleil and Panya Davis quickly up the floor to get a quick 2.
It took some time for Florida State to get things going. They didn't have their first point in the quarter until about the 7-minute mark. Now they're outscoring Stanford 10-6 in this quarter.
Nunu. You know, she just shot over a 6'6" player and looked unstoppable.
Well, that's because most days she is.
Davis able to deflect that rebound, but Shea Ijuoye trots it up into the front court. Stevenson spins it to Ogden. Little jab step back, and scores over Green.
You can tell a player that is just in a zone. The step back, that's the third time we've seen that. It's become her go-to move. On the baseline, she is just lethal.
And she has 19 points. There's an answer for FSU from Soleil. Ogden's career high, by the way, is 25, and that came in December, a very early conference game against Cal. So she's definitely on target to find a new career high today.
Stanford trying to find the holes in this zone that Florida State is showing.
Fired in, Aguera. Tough shot, good defense that time by Davis, and it's saved by Bonner along the baseline.
And most importantly, they come up with a rebound in their zone, and it leads to shots like that for Jasmine Shavers, who, as we mentioned in the open, has knocked down more threes than anyone on this team, and that's a big reason why they are second in the ACC with threes made.
And that three made possible by a terrific pass in transition from Soleil Williams. That was right on the money. Ogden uses the ball fake to get to the free throw line and round it out with that shot. FSU's got a little bit of juice going here. Let's see if Soleil can continue it. And then Shea looked up the floor to run out and dribbled that off her foot and out of bounds. And that's going to take us to a timeout.
Yeah, that would have been huge to make it just an 11-point lead for Stanford. But either way, you love to see the pace. Get a rebound, push it up the floor, kick it out to Shavers. That again, that was a rivalry game. There was a sense of pride that we had to have. And I mean, shout out to Sue Simrau, who we just always found a way to fight with her. And then now UCLA with then our associate head coach, Corey Close, who is number 2 in the nation right now.
Clardy with a 3. Stanford starting to pick up the shooting again. They shot over 50% in the first half, both first and second quarter, but we're down about 30% in this third quarter prior to that shot. And Williams' miss is run out now by Haley Swain. Inside the final 2 minutes of this third quarter from Tallahassee. Guerra's screen, swing, refuses it, gives it to Nunu. Short with the shot, run out now. Bonner looks ahead. Holds. Gets fouled. Bowles has not played much today, and what's strange about that is she was terrific off the bench Thursday night against Cal. Had a team-high 17 points. And we really haven't seen much of her today.
4 for 7 from outside was the most impressive thing for me, because the conversation that we had with Coach Wyckoff was, even in the stretches for Sydney Bowles, who is the K-Yao servant leader, she's played many different roles for this team, including starting, now coming off the bench, being in the point guard position, having to play 1, 2, 3, and 4. She's really answered a lot of different assignments for Florida State in her senior season. But I have wanted to see, because of the performance we saw against Cal, that should be a consistent thing for her. I just believe that much in her ability and output.
Bowles with 5 points today. They've all come from the free throw line, and that one miss for her just a moment ago was the first free throw miss for the team. They're 9 of 10 today. Swain three. Soleil looking around. Not much help here, so she slows it down. Goes left and scores.
That's what I was asking for at the beginning of the game. Sometimes you defer, wanting to get everyone involved, but for Soleil, and even though in a junior year you start to assess how you build a team around her, she has to be the difference maker.
She makes a difference defensively there, generating a steal, firing a three, swish! FSU trying to claw back. They're down 11. Stanford can hold it for the final shot of the third.
Florida State outscoring them 21-13. Can they get the stop here?
Ogden. Three. Short. A miss by Clardy. And indeed, as you mentioned, they outscored Stanford 21-13 in the third quarter to come from behind win on senior day. There's what they've done so far. Entering the fourth quarter as close as they've been in a while. The last time they were this close, it was 28-18. They were down 10 with about 8 minutes left in the second quarter.
Mark, after Florida State scored only 8 points in the second quarter, whatever the conversation was with Brooke Wyckoff, before they left the floor, before they even went to the back, there was a level of energy that she was asking and challenging as a huge three goes down for Shamfai. But you can see her asking, who are we trying to be? And they answered that with a 21-point surge in the third quarter. But the biggest thing is who, as far as pace, will stand out in the fourth quarter.
Garrett taking it to the rim, but a miss. Treadwell rebound. Bowles pull up, and she scores from the left elbow. There's her first made field goal of the game and gives her 7 points. Into Shamfai, tough shot, didn't get it to the rim, but there is Aguera. Will there be a third chance? We'll wait and see. It rolls out of bounds, staying with the Cardinal.
Yeah, Shamfai had a nice look on the block, gave up a little bit of the space with the step back and the fadeaway, but credit A.B. Treadwell for trying to get a hand up, and seemed like she deflected it at the rim too.
Clardy. Long two from Chloe, good. And right as that bucket went through, we get a foul whistle by the baseline official. Kubek got knocked to the deck.
So based off the way that Florida State is playing Stanford, especially in the zone, you start to think about the advantages of in the paint. Right now, they're even at 24. But they were giving Chloe Clardy that look at the top of the key, and that's a shot that we've seen her knock down time and time again.
Bowles fouled shooting a three by Ogden. And by the way, the foul at the other end was against Aguera, her second for Stanford when they went through the rim. So So 3 free throws coming here. It's a great time to remind you that the 2026 Ally ACC Women's Basketball Tournament headed to Greater Atlanta March 4th through the 8th. Tickets are on sale now. There's the QR code. Snap that. You can pick up tickets, book a hotel room, discover activities going on. Visit acc.com/WBBT. And the tournament will include a free ACC Fan Fest, games, giveaways, photo ops, and a lot more. Use the QR code.
I just did it, and it indeed works.
That's instant gratification, folks, and verification.
I might get my, since it's on the screen, I may get my family some tickets now.
Why don't you do that after the game? I need you for a little while longer here. Aguirre's pass picked off. FSU, can they cut this to single digits? Bonner does not. Got a pretty decent look in transition. Now it's up ahead to Swain. Haley, Euro step into a foul.
When speaking on Haley Swain, Kate Pay said 2 different words for her. She said speed and IQ. And we saw both in that one series. Getting out up the floor, understanding where the lanes needed to be run, and also avoiding the contact, just trying to throw her body into the defender, splitting it, and now getting a chance at the charity stripe.
Second point of the game for Haley, so they both come from the free throw line. Knocks them both down. Lead is at 13 with 2 minutes gone here in the fourth quarter. Fahey switches on to Bonner. Amaya, unsuccessful. Clardy. Pocket pass a little too low for Shum Fahey. They turn it over. It's 13 turnovers now for Stanford. They average about 15 a game.
And that has really put Florida State, especially in the second half, where they've taken advantage of those turnovers. They have scored 11 off of them.
Soleil turned in the corner, went right that time, but the offensive miss. And put back missed by Green, but Tatum drew the contact. It definitely looked like Florida State has found a bit better of a rhythm here in the second half compared to the first.
And what I was going to add as well is a lineup that works for them too. Defensively, we've seen how they're challenging them to knock down the outside shot. When they started the ball game, they could not miss from outside. They hit their first 2. But Stanford is a team that shoots below 29% from outside. You have to pick your poison and put yourself in a position to rebound, then score on the other end. And Florida State has done a better job of executing in that area in the second half.
Still plenty of time for FSU here, down 11. Stays on the perimeter, skip pass Shum Fahey, quick touch pass. Now it's with Swain. She fires into Aguirre, who has it stolen away by Mari Girton. The freshman dribbles all the way down. Ball loose. And it winds its way thanks to Shea Ijuoye to Haley Swain. Another chance there for FSU to get this down to single digits. Swain decides to use the dribble.
Has some time, created some space on the inside on the screen on the wing and the roll to the basket. That was a missed opportunity for the Cardinal.
Williams back out. Deep 3 is up and way long. Missed by Sid Bowles. Away from the ball. FSU hold. Coach Wyckoff sending Rish, as well as Shavers, back into the game.
Tanya Davis now has the assignment of Nunu Aguera. It looks like they're going to switch some things up on the defensive end and go to the man instead because of the switches that you see coming into the ball game for State.
A three that was falling better early in the game for Ogden doesn't go there, and it's over to FSU. Williams, 13 points to lead FSU. 4 rebounds, 3 assists. 6 minutes to work with here in their home finale. Jasmine, pull up. It's on the way. Foul on the floor. Shenfai saying she took some contact to the mouth, but it was Green who needed the help up, and it's a Stanford foul. Yeah, she got her left hand into the chin of Tatum Green, too.
Both players just tracking the ball, trying to go after it. It's a physical sport, so it really ends up with the officials catch.
Rish had to hurry to get it in, and it bounced off the hands of Davis, but Rish takes it back from Ichiwoye, and it's laid in by Shavers. And now they get it down to single digits.
5:30 is a lot of time left on the clock for Florida State to figure things out in the second half, where they were down as many as 23 points. Now, for Stanford, how do they reset things knowing what they're going against, mainly against this defense in the zone? It really caused them to be more stagnant on the offensive end.
Shenfai turns, shoots a baseline jumper, and scores.
That's what I mean, Mark. I mean, the movement on the baseline has to be had for Stanford. You have to have people flashing to the paint, who is setting screens on the wing. That's the type of action they need to stop these lulls in scoring.
Williams underneath, Davis one dribble. Ogden came around, knocked it away, but a foul. That's going to take us to a timeout. Florida State got themselves back in the game with still plenty of time left.
Florida State right now is seeing red, and when I say that, it means they understand the sense of urgency, the steal, the dish, and the finish. Got ourselves a ball game.
CC Network basketball presented by Food Lion. 4:49 left in this fourth quarter, an 11-point lead for Stanford. Let's take a look at our star stories for players that have been crushing it of late. Brought to you by Crush and the duo of Ogden and Aguera. Have been effective all game for Stanford.
But they have only scored a field goal apiece, or 2 field goals apiece in the second half. So for both of them to have 29 of the 41 points in the first half, there has been an adjustment defensively for Florida State that has caused some problems for the Cardinal.
Davis splits the pair there. The lead is 10. 63-53 Cardinal. Led by as much as 23. Steals Shavers, foul Ogden. And momentum wave continuing to be ridden here by the Noles. So that's 4 fouls on Ogden.
Yeah, at the top of the key, a coach always cringes when it's a straight line pass, just as a PSA. If you are grabbing the ball or receiving the ball, you want to be on an angle, or it causes these moments where your defender can jump in the passing lane and even get an opportunity on the other end. It's all about angles, Mark.
Bring in the geometry of it. That's next level.
For someone that mostly communications, I'm not too fond of math, but
me neither. That's why all of us get.
But I know
television.
angles.
Very few people in television are math majors. All right, Florida State got it down to 8.
Nunu working on the inside. Nice up fake, but there was a hand in by Jasmine Shavers. I do think that Nunu has been shaken up a little bit. I'm not sure what transpired.
So he got called for a travel Saying she got hit on top of the head.
So she got Tanya Davis up momentarily. But I couldn't see from that particular angle what happened.
Well, officials conferring here. I think whether they need to go to the monitor or not. But like you said, it seemed to be a quick contact. It certainly seems to be feeling the effects. Yeah, I think they're going to...
Was it the head or the eyes? Because right now she is wincing. Yeah, I think it was honestly right there.
Oh, yeah.
Where Tanya Davis came down and might have swiped the
That
eye.
plays under official review.
So officials get together and they can discuss if it was an unobserved foul.
It's Karen Piatto, our lead official. That last look that we showed, it like you said, it seemed to be more of a glancing glow
After
towards
review,
the eyes.
there's no foul on the play.
And it was before that initial look. I think when she caught the ball, it was more of a swipe down that may have got her in the eye, but the officials say there is no foul on the play, so Florida State gets it back and has an opportunity to continue to cut into this Stanford lead.
Four minutes to go, getting to the rim, Green. Ogden playing with 4 fouls for Stanford. Garrett, the right elbow. Nunu, the drive, and one.
Yeah, that looks a little bit different the second try. Nunu working her way on the inside. It's almost like she's kind of bouncing around to find the open spaces and the holes for Florida State. And if she doesn't see them, she'll create one. That's how strong she is and all the emotion to our camera guy underneath. Really nice shot.
Her 6th double-double of the season. 19 points, 13 rebounds. For 36 minutes for a Garrett timeout, Florida State. So with the deficit 11 for FSU, it's a half-minute timeout. See you back here in 30 seconds. Former Stanford player Angela Taylor will have the call of that one.
Oh, yeah. Love hearing AT on the call.
Out of the Florida State timeout. Soleil uses the handle on that. Not sure if she lost the handle from my angle or thought there was a teammate in that area.
Either way, she's disappointed. You can see it on her face and just coughing that one up, where every second counts. We're approaching the 3-minute mark.
Ogden scores.
And the advantage is Stanford. Ogden, as we mentioned, has been a little bit slower in the second half with finding her spots on the floor.
3 minutes to go. The lead is now 13. Williams, Davis, 3, Green from the corner. And they're going to get Risch for the reach there and a push.
Great box out by Shomfai as well as Ogden, putting themselves in a position where if they weren't going to come up with the rebound, a teammate could.
Florida State had gotten it down to 8. Now the clock, obviously more of a bigger concern here for FSU. Into the front court. Gioye. Shea kick. That's an open 3 that's knocked down by Chloe Clardy, and suddenly Stanford has refound the offense that we saw in the first half.
The dribble drive, kick, pass, the hockey assist, those are one of the clips that you say we're going to watch in the film room.
FSU snaps an 8-0 run here for Stanford.
You can see with them slowing the pace, still executing the plays, not trying to take too much off, as there's an early look for Nunu.
Gary got position and took the easy lay-in. So we're under 2 minutes to go. Soleil. Well, she had a step there on Shumfai, but couldn't get it over the rim. Aguera. Shumfai three.
But still, great offense from Stanford. Doesn't seem like they're too rushed looking for a good shot.
Williams able to find some room. Get a 14-point game. Minute 10 to go. FSU comfortable to play it out with a minute to go here.
Yeah, just a minute away for Stanford to continue to show why they are building on their resume for the NCAA tournament, trying to take control of what they can. We talked about even Cal and what they have been able to do in the last few games, winning 4 of their last 5 games. Another team that is considered the next 4 out for Charlie Creme.
Stanford heads home after this. They will take on SMU on Thursday and finish next Sunday with Clemson. Smile on the face of Coach Payer, looking to win for just the second time in their last 10 games, as we see Bonner come out, one of the seniors, as well as Shavers getting some hugs on the bench.
Yeah, not the performance that they wanted to close the Tuck with, but have an amazing opportunity in the tournament to make some noise. They'll have to do so playing on the first day in Duluth.
Florida State at Duke on Thursday, and then they finish up at Wake Forest. And they're going to have to do something here. I mean, it's not out of the question that Wake Forest could catch them. You see the seniors there on the bench, 3 of the 4 that were honored today. Bonner, Shavers, and Kubek.
You mentioned Duke, and automatically I'm like, wow. If another one goes down for Laura, she kind of puts her hands up like, wow, I didn't know I could do this. But she has been phenomenal. There's not many more adjectives that we can give for her outside of just very good.
4 in double figures for Stanford today. 22 for Aguera, 21 for Ogden. Some 3 threes, 15 points, and Clardy off the bench with a dozen. Soleil Williams led Florida State with 17. And 77-61, Stanford is the final. And Stanford improves to 17-12 and 6-10 in conference, dropping FSU to 9-19 and 4-12 in conference. We do have more for you from here in Tallahassee. We're going to go ahead and try to corral Courtney Ogden as well. We had another big day for Stanford. All right, so we will take a break and we'll come back with more from Tallahassee after the 77-61 Stanford win.